Hello, this is Leard Mita with Group 2, representing Walt Disney Part A. Group 2 is Lori, Lisa, Ben, Eric, and myself, Laird. The main focus of our presentation is going to be towards value creation. We're going to show how value creation was so important for Walt Disney in the past and how lack of it has been important in its decline. So why is Disney a takeover target at this point? Again, this is because they've diverted significantly from their core business or value creation strategy that was so successful, and it was put together by Walt Disney in the 1950s. Once Walt Disney passes away, this value creation engine just halts, and the new leadership just does not have the capacity to understand how important it is to the success of Walt Disney. These characters that are created by the animated films are crucial to generating revenue in all of the other segments of Walt Disney. New leadership sort of focuses on pursuing each individual segment as if it were separate from the main core value creation theory of animated characters. As far as the leadership that takes over, there's too much internal family insiders, founders, rather than new leadership coming from outside to sort of bring in some new vision into the company. The leadership fails to understand the difference between value creation and competitive advantage, and they sort of focus on just maintaining this competitive advantage that they have in all of these segments. They diversify into assets that are not necessarily tied to the main core values of the company. As far as segments of the company, we've got theme parks, consumer products, and motion pictures. Theme parks is the largest. They are in a competitive position here, mainly because of capital investment, and also they're still using the characters that were developed many years ago. They're still using those to drive revenue. Consumer products, it's in a highly competitive segment here, and it's losing steam because competitors are coming up with newer animated films which are generating new characters and therefore new sources of products that they can compete with against Disney. Motion pictures, they've moved away from animated films. They moved into sort of just right in the center. They're not diversified anymore. They're competing on adult films, on live action films, and moved away from their core business of animated films. As far as the performance of each segment, consumer products have been sort of flat, only 8% of total profits. Theme parks, it's been the largest driving force here, and still growing for that matter. So there's still quite a bit of value here in this particular segment. It generates 90% of revenue, 79% of profits, highly successful. However, it still runs on old fuel, if you will, from the value creation engine from 20 plus years ago that Walt Disney created. Motion pictures, it's moved away. It's been stagnant, sort of flat. Nothing's changed in the past 5 years. It's moved away from its core of animated films, moved into adult films. Not a competitive advantage in this segment either. It's highly competitive, and it does not have the strategic advantage that it had before, which was the reliance on these strong characters from animated films. What should be used to measure the performance? Well, again, it needs to be measured on the ability to sustain value creation. And value creation for Disney comes from their motion pictures segment. They need to get back to their roots. They need to get into the animated films again and create these characters. They need to invest in technology and as well as talent. Performance of other segments is very important here because other segments' revenue is very, very important. It's crucial to the motion pictures success. The characters created here will drive the consumer products and the theme parks. Is Disney a growth company? At this time, they are not. They're just sort of riding on credit that was and on fuel that was created 20, 30 years ago from Walt Disney himself. They're not a growth company. They have been historically a very successful one, but from a value creation proposition, they are not a growth at this time. The response to Steinberg, well, Disney here, our recommendation is that Disney focuses back on restarts its value creation engine. And if it wants to do this, it needs to take care of the Steinberg issue. Two options here: dilution or buy the shares back. Dilution is not a good a solution because it alienates other investors. They need to buy the shares back, and they need to focus on restarting this value creation engine. It's going to cost. It's going to be $72.50 per share. About $305 million in total. Out of this, $39 million is the actual green mail. The market's going to react negatively to this for both cash flow outflow as well as the market sees this as they sort of agree with Steinberg, meaning Disney's not a cohesive business anymore with a core strategy. It's a holding company with multiple assets that sort of operate independent of each other. Therefore, if one's not doing good, why not divest them? So at first, there will be a negative response. Our recommendation here is that Disney refocuses and restarts its value creation engine, which is based on animated films. This concludes our presentation. Thank you for watching.